All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the June 4th, 2024 meeting of the Orange Town Plan and Zoning Commission. I am Commissioner Ozzie Parenti, and with us this evening,
Paul Kaplan.
Jenny Bowser.
Judy Smith.
Zoning Administrator Jack Demerjen.
I'm missing a couple of commissioners tonight. Commissioner Cornell is recovering from a little cold, and Commissioner Tarenti has something going on at work, so it's just the three of us tonight. All right, first item on our agenda is a review of the minutes from the June 4th, 2020. That should be, what was the last meeting, May 21?
June 4th.
June 4th,
June 18th.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, boy, yeah, all right. The month is really running away from me. Yes, okay, that's correct. June 4th, 2024 meeting. Does everyone have the minutes? Jenny, I have a few things that I'll give you. At the bottom of the first page, last line,
Okay.
brief discussion, the commission agreed on, I would take out the words "the company"
Okay.
and put in awarding the contract for the POCD revision to BFJ Planning.
Got it.
The next page, under report of the zoning enforcement officer, again, last line, I would take out the word involved and add in overseeing the project. So it reads, the fire marshal and the building department are overseeing the project,
Okey-doke.
referring to the charging stations at Amazon. And then, under public hearings, second full paragraph, application for the conversion of a single-family dwelling. The last line, of, I would take out the first word there, of, and put in known as, for the property known as 440 David Court. All right, and I think this is correct, but 3 paragraphs up from the bottom, second sentence, there would be 2 entries and a full bathroom added. Those are gonna be side entries, 2 side entries?
Right,
Because it
because
was
they
on
can't
the-
face the road, but,
Right,
I mean, it's in the record that they complied with
All
that
right.
requirement, but you can put it in the minutes, sure.
there would be 2 side
There would
entries,
be 2 side entries.
yeah.
Sorry.
And let's see, the only other thing I had on that same project, it mentioned septic work would be needed pending this approval. Did we say that the septic system required an upgrade, or?
That's the
No.
town sanitarian's
Yeah,
call.
so is that correct as written there?
It is, yeah. The applicant was going to need septic work through the health department.
All right.
Yeah, sorry, Chris. Yeah, yes, the sanitarian was gonna need some septic work done before they were gonna sign off on the physical building, which has since been completed.
Okay, so that's all I had. If anybody has anything else?
I just have one thing, on page 2, this space would be added to the rear of the house. I would just put this addition.
This edition. Got it.
All right, Paul, anything for you? All right, then, someone wish to make a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second,
All right, we have a motion to approve the minutes from the June 4th meeting. We have it seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next item on our agenda, next 2 items, old business and new business. Does anyone have anything they wish to bring up under those topics?
Just only on Route 34, Mike's Place. Are they redoing the tanks? Is that what's going on up there?
Correct, yeah, they're replacing the tanks, currently, and that is not something they come through us for, it's entirely through the fire marshal's office in the state. So that's what the excavation over there is for. I know they might have run into a snag or two, which is why they're not there every day, but yes, that is the, scope of work there.
I have nothing to bring up under new business or old business. Judy? you
Nope.
All set? Okay. Then the next item on our agenda is a report of the zoning enforcement officer.
Sure, just a
Jack?
couple, quick points. About 6 months ago, the owner of the car wash came in. We had a discussion over whether, the car wash on the Post Road, I forget the, 81 Boston Post Road?
The vacuums.
Yeah, 79 Boston Post. Yeah, we had the vacuum versus, intensification versus expansion discussion. That property owner has come in, to me, and we've sat down. They're getting ready to submit a site plan to go ahead with that. It's not something that would be under the review of this commission because there's no special permits. It's just a site plan. But just wanted to let everyone know that. A lot of residential complaints and inspections this time of year. It comes with the nice weather, people not keeping up with their landscaping, things of that nature. So we've been doing a lot of those. And I also included in your packet a very rough draft of a contract from BFJ Planning, just to get everyone aware of.
Was it dated? Because
It was
seemed-
not, no. So
Yeah,
it
'cause
it
it's
was an
older,
old
right?
contract,
Yeah.
didn't even have the correct parties in it.
Right.
I think they were just sending it to us, so.
It doesn't have the correct contract price.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean-
It's just, this is their standard language that they include. In case, any of you had language that you really want to see in there, I think it was mainly for the town attorney to take a look
Yeah.
at.
Has
And all-
Vinnie responded on it?
He has not let me know just yet. I CC'd him on the email where I provided this language to you all.
Okay.
So next time I sit down with him, I'll
So
make
he'll
sure
be
he's.
looking at the contract.
Yeah, he will be looking, and if he has anything that he likes to see in the contracts, I'll make sure BFJ includes that.
All right,
But other than that,
sounds good.
that's about all I got.
How about signs?
Signs, been doing a lot of signage as
You have.
well. A lot of residential signs, stick in the ground signs, power washing, painting. Again, it comes along with this time of year. Along the Post Road, I've been cleaning up a lot of signage as well. But it's a constant battle here.
Yeah.
Always doing signage, but yes.
Well, they
paying
always
attention
show
to
up
that
on
as well.
Saturday morning.
Always. The furniture stores, always.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else for Jack? All right, then. The last item on our agenda is a request by the New Haven Hebrew Day School to extend the time limit to use and occupy temporary classrooms. Now, this was last extended on August 2nd, 2022, and the extension runs to August 1st, 2024. Rabbi, you want to address the commission
Please come up here.
on the subject?
Okay, good evening and thank you. Welcome and thank you
And
for
just your name and address for the record, please.
Joshua Hecht, 642 Dogwood Road.
Thank you.
So thank you to our hosts and the town of Orange and the commission for extending us the rights and the ability to continue our work with educating children. Things are not easy for us, but we do clearly have a plan of moving ahead. I don't want to be the little boy who cried wolf, but I know that's what you may be feeling. On the other hand, we are getting actually more students involved and enrolled in school, so the need is becoming more acute than it did in the past. Even that's not going to suffice. So we are
The need for more
more
permanent.
permanent facility. And we do have that piece of land on the right side of the school, which we're hoping to be able to develop.
That's a separate parcel.
That's a separate parcel, yeah, which would have to go through zoning, I guess, the whole story. I don't know if this is the place for it, but what is the protocol for that? In other words, if we have an architect working on something, he comes with something to you. I mean, I just briefly spoke to him. Obviously, we have to go through the
Correct.
channels. but-
It's going to depend on your scope of work, what your permitting process is going to be. So if
Okay.
it's just something that constitutes a site plan, it wouldn't necessarily come to this board. But if your scope involves something that would require a special permit, which I believe this use in this zone does automatically.
Right.
You would have to come in front of this board.
Sorry, okay. So that's
But
gonna
the-
be
but,
happening.
Yeah, your work would be, you would have a, an engineer draw a
Right,
plan.
right, and then after the plan comes to zoning and say, this is what we're hoping, the scope of the building, the size, whatever it may be.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping that, being that it's contiguous, things would, go follow the, but whatever the case is, in this case, we still do need the time. And I'm hoping that the commission will, give us the rights and the ability to stay on and stay where we are. And hopefully, I can try to update, and I know it wasn't a good keeping you posted, but once we have things going with the architect and with the engineer, we can keep you posted as to some progress, you see things are moving along.
Do you feel like you're closer to having,
We have
to
some-
being at that stage
Yes, and
than you were
I'll
2
tell you
years
what,
ago?
I think also because we did raise some money, we have some people who are interested, that's always a factor.
Mm-hmm.
And people have come through with something towards that. It's a far cry from what we really need, but once the ball starts rolling, that's how these things go. You have, there's some, I want to see, like everybody wants to see things happening and rolling. Once there's a check and there's some people interested in making sure that it goes through, it makes life a little easier. So I think, again, I'm not a prophet, but I think we're moving ahead in a direction much more so towards some type of permanent development than we did in the past.
The existing classrooms,
Yes.
portable classrooms, there's been no change in.
No change at all.
As to how they're situated
No,
or
no, everything is as it was with the original
as it
planning.
was 2 years ago when.
How long of an extension are you seeking, sir?
I think it would be fair to say 2 years, and then if we can do, within 2 years, something has to happen. We can't handle what we have now. So it's gonna give us a little bit of a kick to get going on it too.
Rabbi, when you say you can't handle what you have now in terms of space,
I'm saying that we're pretty much full. Our plan is to build something which is going to take care of that need, which is quite acute, but we also are looking at more children and possibly parallel classrooms. So we need to build something which is gonna make, for the future. It's
So
50
you're
years.
enrolling more students
Yes,
now.
yes. That's not in that building, that's in the regular building, but it's all gonna come, we moved out students from the main building into there.
Okay.
into
I see.
And hopefully,
have we gotten any guidance from the building department as to how long these things last?
How
The
lo-
trailers, like their lifespan or durability?
There is specific building code. I remember in our last extension, Lucian DeMayo, who was the building inspector at the time, did have, some communication with the state to kind of say, when does temporary no longer mean temporary,
Right.
So there was some back and forth there, but they have been on top of it. I know they figured it out, whatever,
Right.
building
Yeah.
code they needed to meet.
And that was a condition of our approval.
Part of our condition every year is always communicate with the state building department and the local building department to determine that they are still, up to their code, not only ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have that approval or that whatever.
Yeah, it was a verbal confirmation with, Lucian to myself, but, he said that he was working, with the Hebrew Day School, and they did end up getting it, figured out and situated.
I think my question was going to the actual physical condition.
I believe they do regular inspections. I believe every 2 years or every time, we say you have to confirm with the building department. I do believe they go there and make physical inspections, but the building department and I believe the fire marshal would as well. Yes.
I think that should be a condition if we're going to approve this, of the approval. All right, for health and safety purposes.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's
Absolutely, yeah.
worded so well. I mean, do you have a copy of what Jack sent this afternoon?
There is there should be a copy in there. I included,
It says application must be submitted and approved by the State of Connecticut Building Department for a time extension for temporary structures. And we, we're asking the applicant, or requiring that the applicant work through the local, the municipal building official.
I mean, what make me comfortable is somebody going out there and taking a look at them.
Right.
we could also include, the application must be submitted and approved to the state, and for a time extension for temporary structures, please see building official, now it'd be Robert Wagner, for the application process and and for an inspection. I can include some sort of language like that.
For an acceptable condition of the
Yeah.
I must say that they've held out pretty nicely. They really have. You know, we did paint the roof. It was a little rusty. We scraped and painted, so now and they're pretty versatile. You know, we're not unhappy with it, with what it, you know, for the purpose it's serving at present.
Did you, and either of you think it's necessary to have it inspected by police department or the fire department, or?
I don't think anything.
I mean, that's why I asked if anything changed.
Yeah, I don't think anything's changed, other than maybe a few more kids and some traffic.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't,
From
I don't
what,
feel the need
from
for
what
that.
my recollection, everything stayed the same pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the traffic flow patterns on the site, that remains the same.
Yeah.
Would you, if we agreed to an extension of 2 years, would you commit, I'm not saying this is what I would necessarily want to do, but would you commit to having plans
Sure.
within a shorter period of
Let-
time?
Yeah, let's say within a year, and
Within a
I
year?
can hope to have before that,
Yeah.
possibly. I mean, it is in a serious, a few other people involved, lay people, not necessarily school
Yeah,
people who
no,
are
I
over.
understand.
And they're pushing, so that's, you know, from
Right.
our board, and they're right, and we know it has to be done.
Right,
So I think that's fair to say within a year to have some plans.
all right.
I think it's very
So
fair.
maybe we could include, you know, as a condition that within a year of, if we were to approve an extension, we could say within a year of this approval, tentative plans be submitted to the zoning department.
Fair, very
um,
fair.
You know, showing
Yeah.
an addition
rendering
or,
or
yeah.
A rendering. like,
Some,
we don't need
some
an
sort of
antique
evidence
survey.
that
That
you
we're moving
are-
along.
You're
Some-
moving
some
along. and-
progress.
yes,
Very
progress.
fair, I would agree with
Okay.
that.
Is there you're saying, Jack, that there was a time limitation as to how long these temporaries can be used for?
They were approved,
think
well,
we-
by building code, the key word is temporary, where I think if you exceed, and don't quote me on this, I'm not a building code expert, but if you exceeded 5 years, you had to get the next level permit through the state, because it's really not seen as temporary anymore, but more permanent structures regardless of how they're fixed to the ground. So they did have to work through that, which I believe they did in the last time, because they exceeded that time limit, whatever it was.
I mean, if we can get together, you know, a rendering and show, and a permit for the zoning commission, and the zoning enforcement to say whether that fits on the other side, you know, the new facility on the other side of the property, I mean, that's something we could comply with, I think, and I think that shows that, look, it's certainly, for us, that was our dream, not to stay in
Right.
that, where we are. So
Yeah.
the more we're working towards it, the faster, hopefully, it will come to fruition. And I can only ask the commission to say, okay, look, you know, we'll try to
And
go.
Rabbi,
with it.
is that residential property next to the school occupied?
On the right side?
Yeah,
There was someone living there this year.
There is,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Just
Yeah,
for my own curiosity.
rental.
I looked at Paul, I looked at the definition of trailers, and there doesn't seem to be any time limit.
Not in our code.
Not in-
Zoning
in our-
code
in
does
our
not,
regulations.
yeah, does not touch on temporary unit, trailers or things like that.
Only with respect to a construction trailer.
Correct. We have construction trailer for development, but no language that really pertains to this specific temporary
So
structure.
that would come from the state, is what you're saying?
The building code would, yeah. For us, we treated it, and they got a special permit, we treated it as a structure. I tell people every day, you know, when they ask about like carports, well, it's not permanently fixed to the ground. By zoning code, it doesn't matter. If it has a roof, it's a structure. Whether or not it's gonna be there for a year or 100, you go through the same permitting process for us.
I know that many years ago, we rented some portable trailers, same situation in Amity. How long, those were up until the final structure was built? On the right side of the building, there were many,
Yeah, that was the middle school.
yeah.
Yeah, yep.
And
It's actually probably pretty commonplace if you just stopped and thought about, you know,
what schools are doing, yeah,
what schools are doing.
I think so.
I don't have any problem with it, as long as they're in decent condition out there,
Right,
that's
for
all.
safety
Yeah.
purposes.
For sure.
Right, and that
Absolutely.
includes everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We certainly don't want to make sure that they are as well. So
Yes.
we're all on the same page with that. And children have to be in a safe zone, a safe space.
Not to mention the teachers.
Who cares about that?
You have a bias.
All right, I think, do we have any other questions for the applicant, for the rabbi? Anything from the audience? I tell you what, you come up to the podium, and that's okay. Introduce, it's not a public hearing in the sense that, we have a court reporter here and all those formalities, but you're welcome to comment if you wish.
Yeah, my name is Catherine Williams. I live at 515 Dogwood Road. And so my question would be, when the school wants to have an additional structure built on its residential parcel that it owns, will zoning make requirements about plantings?
Screening?
Yeah, screening.
So it's usually a part of any, site plan that we
Yeah.
approve.
Yeah.
But when if and when we get the site plan, that would be a public meeting, that would be a public hearing.
If it's a special permit, it will be,
It's-
yes.
So-
And it is a special
It's a
permit.
permit,
is, right.
so
Permit
it would be,
It's a special use that they're enlarging, so they would need to come in for another special permit approval.
which means there'd be public notice and public comment, and that would be a good opportunity for anyone, that had something they're looking for,
An
some
interest,
screening, an
yeah.
interest, to share that opinion with the commission. That would be helpful at that
And
time.
of course, whatever's filed in the zoning office, you're free to go take a look at it.
Of course.
Yes.
Same plantings for the road?
Between the properties, I'm sure.
Yeah, actually, the stone wall is lovely, except for the cement that you've recently put on it, but but yeah, I don't know how far your building will come.
That's not one Derby Avenue, not on Gold.
I thought you said 642 Dogwood Road.
I live at 642.
Ah, okay.
So are you referring to Temple Emmanuel?
Yes. that's on
Okay, so
Dogwood.
that's gonna be the other one.
Okay,
We're
I
at the
mis-
temple
I
on the.
misunderstood. I thought you were giving
No.
the address of the
No,
temple.
Sorry.
Yeah, the temple on Dogwood, that is Temple Emmanuel. So that is not the subject property.
This one's on 34,
Yes.
but still in a residential area.
Yes, yep, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right. I would favor a further extension, but I would, bifurcate it into a 1-year, a 1-year commitment for some movement toward a plan.
So I'll
With
add
a 2
that,
2-year on, outside.
I can add that condition that we spoke about, that some sort of tentative plan has to be, submitted to the zoning office
Within the year.
showing,
Yeah,
showing
work
good
is.
faith and progress.
Not even work completed, but at least work
Or concept
Started.
plan.
Movement.
Yeah, I don't even,
Work started on a.
A concept design.
on a
right, they
plan.
don't need to pull a permit or
No.
have A1 surveys and site
And
plans.
I can obviously
Or
confirm
submit an
that if they,
application to us even.
Right,
if they've been working with me, I can obviously confirm that, at that time. But I will include language,
So I would say,
that.
1 year on that and in 2 years.
so August 2 of 2024 through August 1, 2026 would be.
2026, okay.
With a plan
With the
presented by
requirement, yeah.
August 1, 2025.
As well as the other conditions
Yep.
that we.
Right, yep. And I will add.
You're aware of those, right?
Which
Rabbi?
What you just.
Well, there was a letter that went out to you.
Yeah,
2
inspec-
years ago in August, and it made reference to the, the application being submitted to the, this request for an extension being submitted to the state
Right,
building department,
Right.
and to have some oversight
Yeah.
by the local building department as a condition, to our action here tonight. If fire lanes must be kept clear, I mean, that would obviously go in there as,
Yeah, everything that we have here, I will keep, and then I will add that other.
and then you'll send that to us?
Absolutely, yep.
Okay, great.
Jack, the.
do you have a copy of this?
I have it in the office.
All right, yeah, okay, if you need a copy.
I have a copy if you need one.
Okay, I'll take one, yeah, yeah.
And Jack, the inspection by the local official will be before the renewal? Or is it's as long as it's a condition of the
It's
renewal?
condition, yeah, the approval is conditioned on them getting the building inspector in there and taking a look.
So am
You-
I to understand
so-
that would be, is there a time frame for that, or is?
Not really, I mean, they are still under their approval until August 1.
That's what I'm saying, they have 3 months to get it done.
Exactly, so they have ample time to meet the conditions of, if we were to approve it tonight, they have ample time to meet those conditions before their approval runs out. So
So-
in this timeframe, before this gets renewed,
Okay.
they have to meet the conditions, and getting the building inspector in there is one of those.
Yeah, that's-
Yes, so they would have ample time to and that's really the only item that they would have to physically do. The rest is just kind of housekeeping.
Yep.
And you'll get the building department in the loop on this.
Absolutely.
Make sure they know what the timeframe is.
Yeah, what we're looking for, and it will be up to the applicant, you know, to reach out to the building department and, you know, set an inspection
Sure.
date and communicate with
So
them.
Lucian is not?
No, Lucian
Retired?
retired about last year. Now we have
Okay.
John Rossi and Robert Wagner are our two building officials.
Okay.
So you'll get in touch with the building department, and they'll send somebody out there and take a look.
Great, great.
All right?
Okay, thank
All
you
right,
very
thank
much.
you
I
very much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank you very
time.
much.
You looking for a motion?
Yeah, let's,
Okay.
yes, please.
Oh, there you are. I'll move that that we approve the request by New Haven Hebrew Day School to extend the time limitation to use and occupancy temporary classrooms from August 1st, rather, 2024, or I guess it's August 2nd, 2024, to August 1st, 2026. Okay, upon the terms and conditions that you mentioned before.
Yeah,
I will second that motion.
all right, that sounds like we've covered it. We have a motion, it's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye. All right, so
you're good to go.
we're good.
Great, okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Hopefully, we'll see you within a year.
Absolutely. I would like to reach out to you, Jack, to get preliminary, like, requirements for the zoning for
absolutely.
GoDaddy.
Give me a call. We can go
Well,
over
maybe 2 weeks, I'm gonna be away, but through the summer, I'm gonna sit down, we'll,
chance.
at least you know what we're up.
You know where to find me.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, you too. All right, well, that was all relatively painless. That's concludes our business for this evening.
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second, Judy?
Second?
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Adjourned at 7:28.